So Adrian, why don't you kind of tell them what you do and who you kind of serve?
Yeah, thanks, Adam. Well, I'm a residential realtor. I also am licensed in commercial, but focus mainly on residential real estate here in kind of the greater Edmonton area, helping families, young couples, empty nesters, all sorts of residential real estate customers.
Got it. Awesome. And then, yeah, I mean, like, when we first started working together, I know you were kind of doing a couple of different lead gen companies. I mean, you're using iExact now. So how often were you reaching out to clients on average? Like, were you kind of, yeah, like what was your frequency reaching out to clients?
Yeah, so I do use Exact Contact, and I feel I was pretty diligent at communicating with clients. Monthly newsletter, I do some quarterly mailouts, that kind of stuff. So I was trying to touch base with my clients through that CRM, at least on a monthly basis, if not maybe bi-weekly at most, kind of thing. And some of the
Okay.
like holidays, birthdays, that kind of stuff.
Okay. And then like, was it mainly like planned? Like, did you have a plan for the touch points or was it mostly random? Like, was it pretty random? Like you kind of hop into iExact, be like, okay, like let's try this, next week, or what was the plan like? Yeah.
Yeah. So through the email communication, it was somewhat planned because it was just whatever's canned through that CRM. So the birthdays, the holidays, it's kind of all kind of pre-planned. When you set up a client in the system, you can pick when you want them to be contacted. Um, as far as text or phone communication, pretty random, pretty just like if
Super
it popped
random.
into my head. I would try and get the system to remind me sometimes, but those reminders usually come in at not the greatest of times, and then you just forget about it, right? So
Got it. And then like also because you were using email, right? Like primarily like with the clients, like how was the email working? Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure they see it at some point in their inbox before they delete it. But
Yeah.
my open rate was okay, but not really great. And the response rate, I mean, I would get maybe one or two responses a year from people from the email stuff, but very seldom. And
Got
it
it.
was always kind of the same people that would respond to emails. So they're the ones obviously that are a little bit
Got
more
it.
diligent at looking at it. But
Yeah, I mean, definitely we've seen with your reply rates on text have been really good. I mean, you've been up
yeah,
sometimes there's 70%. So that's been great to see. And we do see that in general with texting, especially in real estate right now. Um, and then tell us a little bit of the story on like the first listing you kind of got, like when you got the listing, how it went with the client, like how that kind of came about. How did that go? Yeah.
yeah. Well, when we first started, we were just connecting with some of my past clients and database and doing the whoops, I should have called you a long time ago kind of thing. And it was funny that there was a client that I had sold a property to about 4 years ago. Life was changing for them. They wanted to move in with their parents, so they needed a bigger place. And she basically reached out from that text and said, actually, I've been meaning to contact you because we were thinking of selling our place. Can you maybe come have a look? And it just snowballed from there. And so we sold their place and helped them buy another place.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it worked out really well. And that was, I don't know, 2 weeks into when we first started working with you guys. So it was fantastic.
I love it. Yeah. And I guess those two commissions like would be like what would general GCI be on both those commissions? Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit smaller on those two properties, but I would say it was probably in total about 15 grand.
Got it. Awesome.
Yeah.
And that was the first deal. And then how many conversations you say in general, or like give us, maybe a sample of some of the conversations that kind of turn from casual to real estate conversation, right? Because we're big on like coming to people pretty casually, not from a salesy perspective. And then we typically see it turns into real estate. But yeah, how would you see like how has that been going? Coming at people pretty casually and then yeah.
Super well. Yeah, it usually, and I mean, we don't, or I haven't been working with you to do real salesy approach. It's always
Of
been
course.
kind of a value stuff. But I mean, I've had on several occasions, I've done 3 or 4 CMAs or market evaluations now, or just had conversations like, "Hey, we're thinking in spring. What do you think?" It's almost like every time we send out, a campaign, I'm getting some sort of response back from somebody that says, hey, what do you think of this? Or what's the market doing? So it's always coming back around full circle to buying or selling, right? Even though what I send out might not have anything to do with buying or selling a house.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, even the dog day. I remember we did dog day. Adrian's a big, he's big into his pets, loves his dogs. We sent a picture of him and your pets, and like a number of those conversations just coming back like, this is awesome, but by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
So definitely, that's great to see, and that's definitely part of the philosophy. Would you think that some of the conversations you've been having with these clients, like, do you think you would have them otherwise if you weren't regularly reaching out, like in particular through text?
Absolutely not.
True.
Absolutely not. No, for sure. And I was going to say, like, this system has made it so much easier to maintain and build some of those relationships, because I wouldn't have taken it upon myself to message that many people. And I wasn't getting the same response through the emails. So I'm definitely having conversations, even just, casual, shoot the breeze conversations with people that I guarantee I never would have talked to until they were either ready to buy or sell or whatever. But now I'm staying way more top of mind with them for sure.
I love it. Awesome. And then, like, what would you say is exciting, 5 years down the line with the system working like the way it is and continues to keep going? What kind of excites you the most in the coming years about the system? Yeah, like the potential, and also, yeah,
it's kind of limitless. Like, there's so much that can be done with it. Everything from new leads coming in from whatever lead gen source and following up with them, post closings, following up with people right after a closing for, other referrals, Google reviews, things like that. Maybe even pre-closing, but, after you've done a deal, reminding them of paperwork. There's endless opportunities, but just the overall connection with the database as it grows, because as your database grows, it's even harder to manage. And this just makes it so much easier.
Yeah. And even like, your database, when you came in too, like, what was your number? I think we had what were we at? Like,
I think it was about 120 or something like that, wasn't it?
120 people. Yeah. And I mean, you've definitely had great success, tons of listings, referrals, and also many real estate conversations that I know 2022 we're going to be obviously, following up on a lot of those too. And yeah, no, I'm also excited for you for starting to reach out to some of your realtor network as well.
Yeah.
Like starting to get that going, because I don't think, have you done much on reaching out to the realtor side for the referral side? Or
it was always in a plan. It was always in my mind, send out cards like on the holidays and that kind of stuff, just to keep that connection rolling. And like every other good intention, it just sat on the shelf most of the time because I was busy dealing with clients and stuff like that. So the realtors kind of took a back seat. But again, this system kind of makes it easy. And from our very first text that we sent out to my referral network, I mean, I got many, many responses back because it was a Christmas wish. So they were all, messaging back, same holiday wishes, but it started to really, create that connection and help again to keep me top of mind with them. So it'll be good.
Awesome. So Adrian, would you recommend Client Nurture System to other realtors?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a fantastic way, whether you have a CRM that you use or one that you don't or whatever. It's a great way to either start to connect with your database or enhance your connection with your database, because texting is I don't know, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the best ways to kind of grow those relationships, short of an actual phone call. But it's way better than email, better than mail outs. So 100%.